you into their world. It's not just chickens and the Angus herd. So take off your boots, relax, and go beyond the ranch.
Good evening and welcome back to Beyond the Ranch. My name's Mike.
I'm Erin.
And tonight we're talking about what the next couple months look like on the channel. But throughout the evening, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them up in the chat and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions as we move through this evening. Also, the guys with the blue names up there, little wrenches next to their names, those are our moderators and they're here to help you out as well. If you have any trouble, feel free to get their attention. And if you do have a pressing question, a lot of times they can get them to us a little bit faster than sometimes if we're trying to read the chat when it's going by really fast. It's November in Northeast Wyoming, and that means Thanksgiving's on the way. And unlike some stores, we are going to talk about Thanksgiving. We're not going to skip straight ahead to Christmas. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I just I got a new shirt. I got a shirt for my birthday. I heard you picked it out.
Yeah.
I thought maybe one of the kids picked it out.
No, they weren't with me when I did that portion of the shopping.
Oh, you did some shopping by yourself?
Yeah, you knew that.
I did?
Yeah.
Apparently I did. I just remember you went to town you went to town early.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, and you did some shopping by yourself.
Yeah.
And some with the kids. Well, either way, I am all dressed up in a fancy...
It was also on the wrong rack at Baumgart's, and so it was... the sale rack said $17.99. Not $45, like it rang up on the register. It was like, oh, that was on that rack over there that said it was $17.99.
And they just took your word for it and said,
well,
okay,
they went over and looked.
But it wasn't there anymore. You took it off.
No, there was another one.
Oh, just like it.
Yeah.
And they went and put it on the right rack, I'm sure.
Not my problem.
Tell them what else happened at Baumgart's when it came to birthday.
You can explain your...
Erin actually got me a new pair of bogs, which are kind of like muck boots, over boot. I mean, they're winter...
Snow
weather.
boots. Yeah, they're not snow boots. They're all weather boots. They're, I don't know. They're snow boots. I mean, I guess, yeah.
Everything else. The bogs that I did have that I got last year are leaking for some weird reason. So if I would go out in the snow, come back, my feet would be wet. And that's obviously not what's supposed to happen. I'm guessing I stepped on a nail or something got ripped or something weird happened.
Was it just one boot leaking?
Yeah, just one was leaking. So who knows what happened there. So Erin said, I'm going to get you a new pair of bogs, which is great. She brought them home, and we had a little party and opened them up. And one of them was steel-toed, and the other one was
composite-toed.
Composite-toed, and the other one was not. So I had to take them back and go back and figure out. But you think they'd be like attached to each other?
No, so at Baumgart's, they're just, it's just
people don't know what Baumgart's is. I don't think they're a nationwide thing.
It's probably, no, they're like a regional thing. It's like it's kind of like Tractor Supply.
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
Yeah, you can get feed, you can get shavings, you can get, I don't think they have chickens. Do they have chickens? Yeah, they had chickens, don't they?
Yeah, they're almost like
they're like Tractor Supply.
They're like a bigger Tractor Supply because they have
They're a more reasonably priced Tractor Supply.
Ain't that the truth?
But they have they have a lot of clothes. I don't know if you looked through any of the clothing.
I actually had never really been on that side of Baumgart's. When I went in to exchange the boots, I was like, where are the boots? I had no idea. And she said they're back there about 3 miles that way.
Yeah, so they just have, their boots are just on a shelf. Like not...
Just all willy-nilly.
Not in the box. Okay, and they're not attached together, right? Like they don't have like an elastic like tying the two boots together. And so like I had looked, it was really hard to find a size 10. I like looked and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to find these. Found size 10. Did make sure they were both size 10. Did not realize I had to make sure the toes were different or the same. They were right next to each other.
The same model. Yeah. But I was able to go in and I found the right boot and got them, so no problem at all. But so yeah, I got a new pair of boots. I got a nice shirt. We went to lunch for my birthday. Of course, the kids were here for my birthday as well. And what else did I got? Couple shirts from the kids and a nice little heated blanket thing, and yeah, I'm getting very, very bougie. My mic's not on. Now it is.
Good job.
There we go.
I turned mine on.
I actually thought mine was on. My bad. So, thank you guys. But yeah, I ended up getting some pretty cool stuff for my birthday. There was a lot of like smaller. It felt like there was a lot of gifts this year for my birthday, but that's not a bad thing. But
yeah, you got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So, anyway, next big thing coming up is Thanksgiving, and we hope that everybody has a really nice Thanksgiving and are able to hang out with family and friends and all that kind of good stuff. On a ranch, Thanksgiving, and we always talk about this, Thanksgiving and Christmas and all those kind of holidays are a little different here just because obviously you still have animals to deal with on a daily basis. So it's, it's a little different, but we're looking forward to the holidays for sure.
It's not really different for us anymore. We've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
The first few years were a bit of an adjustment, but
it was different, yeah. And then, of course, as you have kids, and that's all they've ever really known, so they know, we open presents, and then Dad's leaving to go feed cows, that kind of thing. But the cows understand. We take a little bit longer opening presents and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be talking today about our holiday schedule and what we've got coming up for the holidays, including a really cool sale that's going to be happening on our website. And for the very first time ever, we are going to be putting beef and pork on sale.
Second time.
Second time? Oh, yeah, because during the 30 and 30, we put it on sale as well. So for this coming up Black Friday, that whole thing, we are going to be having some pretty cool sales we're going to talk about as we move on through the evening. But of course, we like to answer your questions and of course your comments as we move forward. Sky King, are your turkeys pardoned? I guess, do they still do that? Does the White House still pardon a turkey every year, which is a giant publicity stunt?
They do.
Have they done it yet?
I don't
know. Somebody have to remind Joe that we need to go and do that this year. But
I think they do it the week of.
Do they?
Do they do it like
I don't
tomorrow?
remember seeing it for a year. I remember it was like as a kid. I was like, oh, that's really cool that they do that. And then, yeah.
Yeah, they always have a beautiful, handsome
Great
turkey.
big Tom that's
Yeah.
probably, 30
like
years old.
Yeah, he's like a heritage breed, not like a scraggly, broad-breasted white one, Yes, ours are pardoned. They're pets. They were always intended to be just part of the flock.
Yeah.
They're very chirpy.
I don't know. I talked about them in the last video because they were out there, hanging out. And I was like, that one's a white breed and that one's a gray breed and there's a black breed. I don't know. Do you know the names, like what breed turkeys they are?
If I look at Cackle Hatchery's website, yes.
If you cheat, in other words. I mean, I could figure that out if I went and looked at a picture. Do like a reverse image search.
Do you guys want me to look at my phone and tell you what they are?
No, because then everybody will have to take a drink, right?
Yeah,
But they're basically pet turkeys. Funny thing, these turkeys are so dumb, and I don't know, maybe they're smart. But so we've got meat chickens on one side of the chicken house right now, and of course the laying hens on the other side of the chicken house. And Grace came over with me to help me close up chickens one night. So she goes and closes up the meat chickens, and she left the gate open for the meat chickens. Now, I didn't realize the gate was
there's
open.
like a handful of meat chickens left. They're way too big. We just have not processed them. But there's just a few.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6. So anyway, she leaves the gate open. The next day, the door is open, and all by themselves. And the meat chickens, they don't leave their little enclosure. They know where they're supposed to be. But the turkeys went to visit the meat chickens.
Because they used to live in there.
Right.
Because after they leave their incubator, they go to the enclosed run side of the chicken house.
Right.
So that's their old home.
So they just went right back over there, and now they're living back in the lap of luxury in the enclosed area, which is actually better because they're so dumb. We used to have to go over every single night and make sure that and pick them up sometimes, physically throw them in the door.
Are they going in?
Oh yeah, they're going in by themselves. Yeah, they follow the other chickens in.
You should still let them free range.
I would if they would come out.
After we process those dang meat chickens.
We'll just leave the gate open and they can come and
and
go.
if you're trying to buy meat chickens from me from the farm store, we're not going to have any available. These are for us for our freezer. These few that are left. Ham hocks are for sale on the website, Gary. They're there.
They are. In fact, big news, actually, we didn't even talk about this at all. This last week, we started selling individual cuts on the website. So, oh my gosh, the Answer Ranch just processed 10 to 30 pound chickens.
They're going to
We
be
might have
some
that.
8 to 10 pounders.
We're going to talk about the hat coming up, but really quick, on the website itself, we just started selling individual cuts. So you want to buy, make your own packages. We still have to kind of do packages, and our packages are between 8 to 12 pounds, but you can actually build your own package now. So that's kind of a cool thing that you can, now do that people have been asking to do for like a year.
Well, we've been shipping meat for a year, so.
Well, okay, for 8 months or so. Whenever we started shipping meat, that's when somebody said, hey, can you do a la carte? Now you can actually build your own packages, which is great and a lot of fun because it's kind of cool to see what people put together. It's like I need ham hocks, but I also need liver and 2 pieces of bacon and 2 pounds of bacon. Weird,
Should we go grab
weird
the
packages.
orders and read people's orders?
We could read people. Actually, I think all the ones that are up there are actually packages.
I know. What's
Yeah.
with that? Come on, guys.
So we started doing a la carte, and then people, I'll just order the package. That's too much thinking involved. Somebody asked, I saw it.
I was kind of annoyed by that. Not
What,
like
that-
it's fine, right? Like consumers are weird.
Consumers are weird. You guys are weird.
No, it's just like when it's always been like this. Like we've been selling food since 2010 when we went to farmers market, and like
Right.
whatever I think is going to sell or be super popular, or like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna want this, or everyone says they want this, and then when you do that thing, oh well.
Well, I didn't really want to do
So
that.
we did sell a lot of we had a lot of orders last week that were individual, pieced together their own thing, and then we shipped everything out Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday we got a bunch more meat orders, and they were all the pre-made packages. I was like, who did all that work?
There was a lot of work. I mean, like putting in each individual, here's a pork chop, here's a ribeye, here's a T-bone, and building the entire, and we build I do our website. So if you hate our website, that's my fault. Yeah, it's just being able to build every single little piece into that website, and then like, oh, you know what? I just want the grilling package. It's like,
And it's fine, like, and we didn't take down the packages, the pre-made packages, like, we left them on the website, like, it's fine, we'll do a combination of things, and, like, I'm glad people are still wanting the packages.
Oh, yeah.
Because I
Well,
spend
it means that you train people well over the last,
Perfect.
year, basically. Like, you got them figured out. Jared said producers are strange. We are, trust me, we know that already, but we realize that. I mean, I think I have that T-shirt somewhere.
Yeah, I know, and I think the individual cuts, like, we asked on Patreon, like, that's what people want, and so I'm glad that we did it. I'm glad we put the work into it. It's kind of like a one-time thing to do all that work. There's still a lot of maintenance and upkeep that has to go with it, but
yeah.
Inventory is a nightmare, but I'm glad we did it and can offer that. It took a lot of work.
Yeah.
So,
So on that subject, if you are a Patreon supporter, which we hope that everybody becomes a Patreon supporter, it's just $1 a month, and you can support us and you can order beef and pork directly from the website. Now, in individual cuts, you can build your own package. If you are planning on doing that, put on the brakes. Pump the brakes a little bit, Jackson. What we need to do is wait until this weekend because it is Black Friday, and starting on, what day is that? The 25th. Friday. For 24 hours, all beef and pork on the website is 10% off to Patreon supporters.
yeah.
Yep. So
And we don't ever hardly put meat on sale. We've had one other beef and pork sale. We try and keep our prices
as low as possible.
as low as possible,
Yeah.
and so there's not a ton of, like, we haven't built in a ton of sale options and stuff into our pricing, and so it was on sale during the 24-hour live stream at the end of 30 and 30, and this will only be the second time that we put it on sale in a whole year.
Exactly. So for 24 hours from 6 a.m. on the 25th until 6 a.m. on the 26th, we will have beef and pork on sale for Patreon supporters. So don't order right now, because if you do, you're going to send me an email and be like, I want my 10% off. Nope.
You don't get it.
But I definitely want you to wait until this weekend, and then when Carrie comes to work on Monday, she's going to go, what did you guys do? Why did you make this happen? But yeah, the other thing that people don't realize with doing the individual cuts, inventory nightmare, just like Carrie Sherrado just mentioned.
Yeah.
Being able to manage inventory between the website and the farm store and friends and family and people that work here, and Jeff stealing the last liver, not telling us, and then we have to, we sell one online, and then we have to go, find a liver somewhere. It's tough.
It is tough. Yeah, it is. It is go look at, like, when we put all the individual cuts up on the website, it was go look at the freezers and count every single one. And not like I had to count every single one, but like,
Erin just looked in there and went, there's at least 10.
There's at least 10 chuck roast,
Yeah.
and like we kind of know like how much we'll sell and stuff over, and like I can update inventory at any point and stuff, obviously. But yeah, it was kind of like But we had to put eyes on every single cut, and I'll have to do that every week.
Right.
I'll have to look at every single cut, and especially on like Wednesdays or Thursdays, like after we've shipped the week's orders, fill up the farm store, and then what's left. So
Exactly. And if you are like Jared, you can't order a steak pre-cooked. As much as people would like to have Erin cook a steak, send it to you, you throw it in your microwave.
Oh, that'd be yucky.
We just can't do it. And of course, chickens, we can't ship as well. Why can't we ship chicken?
Because it's not USDA inspected.
Right.
It's processed under the federal poultry exemption.
There you go.
Jeff's all defensive.
What Jeff is also. Jeff, you're not here. You can't. No defense. If he was here, he could at least smack me.
Dismissed.
So, thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. So that's the big thing. So if you are a Patreon supporter, if you're not a Patreon supporter, seriously consider doing it. What?
Brian and I have to do inventory every week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have, so part of the problem, and like it's probably something at some point that needs to be fixed, but we're using 2 different point of sale systems. Our website uses one point of sale system, and our farm store uses a different point of sale system. So I don't have something that talks to each other. And so I don't have anything that says, there's 37 ribeyes, and 2 are going this way, and 17 are going this way. Like, I don't have that.
Yeah.
So it is look in the freezer every single week and see what's there.
And there are a few things too that are actually out of stock on the website. They will show as out of stock. So when you go and like ribeyes are probably out of stock.
Yeah.
So it'll say out of stock. Check back later or whatever it says. It's true. Check back later because we do have beef coming in every other month and restocking, and people really like ribeyes. So
Yeah.
Was that all we needed to talk about with meat?
No. It used to be easier too when I did most of the farm store sales because I would know like, oh, I sold this brisket or whatever.
Are you gonna pass the buck to Carrie now?
No, but it's harder to keep the inventory in my brain because I don't do all the things anymore.
True.
And even like packing meat and stuff, like you and Carrie and Jeff, when Jeff was here, you guys did a lot of it.
Right.
And I'm not even around half the time.
See what I got to deal with.
It's not like a super tight inventory either. Like it is like, I think there's 10 chuck roast in there, and I like move them around a little bit.
You know what I tried to do?
Good enough.
Brian had a good point. The inventory sheet, magnet it put a magnet, hold its freezer. I actually wrote on the freezers at one point what was inside each
God,
freezer.
then we just rearranged them.
That was a giant disaster because you can dry erase onto a freezer and wipe it off. So there's chuck roast in this freezer, and then there'd be chuck roast in that freezer over there all of a sudden. So it really didn't work out that well. But,
right. And so like when we get meat back from Sturgis too, like we get cut sheets of like 17 ribeyes, 14 chuck roasts, like whatever. That's never accurate. It's never 100% accurate. And if we were just having one beef come back at a time, like I would totally like verify versus cut sheets versus actual received inventory and stuff. But like when you get 5 of them back at a time and they're not all boxed together, right? Like it's a thing. I don't know what to say. But it's just a mess.
It's a thing.
You can try and put all your beef together, right? Because like they do label the boxes, like they put the weights on them and stuff, and I don't know. But inevitably, there's a box still in Sturgis.
Yeah,
So-
and jerky. Bill, the tractor man, one of our moderators there. I remember back in the day waiting for insider knowledge on when jerky would be updated on the website.
Yeah.
We really haven't had jerky inventory woes pretty much all year. I mean, in the past we always had.
We're out of
this
some
one would sell out.
flavors.
This would, and we don't have any regular jerky. We have beef sticks.
Yeah.
Regular jerky, if you like, regular jerky, that's hit or miss. But we
Well,
do
that's
have.
like a one-time thing.
Yeah, we do have a bunch of cows that are going to be going in at the end of the year,
Yep.
and then jerky will be all restocked as well. But that won't be until after New Year's, probably.
February or
Yeah,
March by the time
something
we
like
get
that.
jerky back. Like it takes quite a while for them to get through all of our jerky for the year. But yeah, we're out of some sizes. We're low on like garlic pepper and maple jalapeno. That'll all be on sale next week too. Like everything will be on sale.
Everything on the website,
Yeah. So
not just meat.
Yeah, beef sticks, merchandise. We're gonna have new T-shirt designs for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We have some new products like beanies.
We have embroidered beanies. You can actually see those. Those are on the website already, but don't buy one. Wait until this weekend. Yeah, embroidered beanies. I ordered like 3 of them because I was like, I want to see these, right? Yeah. So I mean, They're on the way to me. I'm going to be wearing one before too long. I actually really, the beanie thing drives me nuts. I like being able to wear my cowboy hat, but it had been so dang cold. When I'm editing a video with me in a beanie, it drives me crazy for some reason.
Because your head looks weird?
It does look weird. I don't like wearing a beanie. But they don't
But
make
your
a hat
ears-
with flaps.
Your ears get cold.
They do.
It's okay, it's okay to choose warmth over...
I need little hair dryers that sit on my shoulders and just blow hot air at my head.
It's okay to choose warmth over fashion.
It is, yeah. Fashion.
New t-shirt designs, those will not be on the website till Friday, right? We can make that work? You told me we could make that work.
Sure, we can do that.
Are you going to get up at 6 a.m. and push all those to the website?
Yeah, I have to.
I thought you could schedule them to go live at 6 a.m.
Oh, maybe. I'll have to look into that. I'll figure it out.
That's what you told me.
So anyway, beanie is on the way. Yes, Christy, very happy. I love beanies. And Carrie, yeah, very cool. They're embroidered beanies. They say Our Wyoming Life on the front of them. That's about it. We couldn't figure out how to embroider Erin's face onto a beanie, so.
That'd be weird.
Let's see. From the harem, Brian said, "I only wear a beanie." Yeah. All right. How goes the battle with winter water? That's from Easy. Not horrible. I mean, it is just an everyday thing.
It is warmer now.
Yeah, it was 30 something today, so everything was pretty well cleaned off, and we kind of reset.
It's going to be in the 40s.
Tomorrow's high is 19.
Really?
I think I saw that.
I think you're wrong.
Really? I asked my phone the other. Now I'm gonna look at my phone so everybody can grab a drink. Or does that only work for Erin? I don't know. Let's see.
I know Thanksgiving's gonna be like 44 or something, or that's what it was a few days ago.
Really?
I don't know.
Tomorrow.
I don't think it's gonna be that.
Oh no, it is supposed to be 40 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe 19 was the low tonight. So yeah, 40 degrees. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way better than -1 with 20 some below wind chill.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder, really quick, if people can see. I know you probably can't. If you're not a Patreon supporter, you probably can't see reviews on the meat.
No, because you have to be able to get to the meat.
Because you have to be able to get to the meat. So, just for that reason, I am going to read a review here really quick on some of our meat. And this one came through today and actually was pretty impressive to me, if I can figure out how to find it.
I'd look, but...
Well, I took a picture of it and I sent it to people. There we go. What?
I'm not allowed to look at my phone.
Oh, it's like you can look at your phone. So this review came in today. We just had our first steak. Wow. And I'm not reading this just because it does toot our horn a little bit, but it's actually pretty.
You're gonna read it because it toots our horn.
Well, but it's interesting because it says we did a taste test with 2 other Wyoming ranchers, and yours tasted the best. So happy we found you. We look forward to our next order. Thank you so much for your hard work in the cold and hot of Wyoming. I think it's kind of like people order beef and then do their own little taste test.
That's
like,
great.
I've never even thought about doing that.
Well, and honestly, it drives me crazy when people like email us and stuff. I'm like, I'm living wherever across the country, and I'm gonna come and pick up a whole beef next Tuesday. No, you're not. We really appreciate that you want to buy that much product from us, but like, if you've never tried our beef, you don't need to make that big of a commitment, and we don't sell whole beef. But I'm glad that they test it against other.
Why not?
It should be very, like, your beef choice should be very personal to like what you actually like, and you should find a producer locally or on the internet or whatever that matches your personal preferences.
Yeah.
So.
Look at your phone, Erin. People are thirsty.
No.
Oh, that's tough.
Matt bullied me too much.
He does. Matt will start calling Erin before too long.
Yeah, so I think, it's great. Like, and if you don't like our beef and stuff, like, that's fine. We've had some criticism.
Of course, yeah,
And
it always
that's
happens.
Fine.
And it's funny because like this is a very weird story, but there's a beef jerky. Somebody bought some beef jerky, and they it popped or something on the way there, and it was moldy or something, and this lady just flamed me on the website.
Oh, yeah,
She was
sorry.
just so worked up about it, and I was like, settle down. It's, we'll make it right with you. That's totally fine. Yeah. And then she was like, well, you're just going to delete my review anyway. And actually, her review is still up there, by the way, if you ever want to go look at it. But
it's our website. We can do what we want.
Yeah, I can delete your review if I want to. But I don't. I just think it's funny that, like, we want to know what people actually think, whether they like it or don't like it, right?
But
everybody's tastes are different. Obviously, moldy jerky is a big thing.
But we didn't seal the dang package, okay? That's a processor problem that we're very aware of and that we yell at them about a lot. But, don't need to be so dramatical.
Yeah, no doubt. So. $20 super chat there from Jared. Thank you, Jared. How have you been managing the ice breaking every day so far? Any new inventions? Have you measured the groundwater temp? Actually, groundwater temp isn't horrible here. It was 60 some degrees.
What?
Yeah.
Water's freaking cold when
it is cold. It still feels cold at 60 degrees. But the groundwater temp is warmer than...
yeah, it's like 300 feet deep, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So what we do a lot of times is if the tank is low, I can actually use the water to help melt the ice. So you can spray it over the ice. A lot of times what I do is I'll poke a hole with my pick or whatever I've got, and then get my water hose in there, and then I float the ice off. So I'll actually overflow the tank just a little bit. The ice rises up, right off the tank it goes. Pretty slick if you're sitting a little tricky on some tanks, but it's actually working pretty good for me now. I've got tanks that are completely dry, completely clear as of right now anyway. So thank you very much for the super chat.
It's a lot easier to manage when it's like 20 degrees at nighttime versus -1.
Exactly. I am planning, before I bring the cows home, I would like to do a few videos, maybe 1 or 2 videos about viewer suggested ways to keep those stock tank cleared. Floating.
Oh, like the saltwater bottles. And
yeah,
stuff.
I did the saltwater bottle thing. That didn't work. But yeah, I could, because I have 3 tanks down there in 3 different places, I can say, okay, here's, we're going to do this in this tank, we're going to do this in this tank, we're going to do this in this tank, and see how it works. So if you do have any suggestions on how to keep those tanks clear, feel free to email Matt at ourwyominglife.com. He'll make sure that I get I would say email me, but then they'll get lost somewhere. So email Matt at ourwyominglife.com, and he'll be sure to make sure that I get your suggestions, because I think that would be kind of interesting to try. I did, last time we did it was a couple of years ago. We did a bunch of different solutions for stock tanks. I did catch a little bit of crap because it was a very controlled environment. They were, they were next to a house. They didn't have cows poking around in them. It was pretty controlled. So if you do have any ideas, let us know, and we can definitely test that, because I'm always looking for cool video ideas, and I think that would be a fun one.
I saw a comment that was criticizing you for just not running a tank heater, because obviously you have power because you have water, and so how are you pumping water without power?
People don't know how this works.
The pump is 3 miles away, guys.
Yeah. Wow, really? I didn't see that comment. That's interesting.
Maybe we need to explain that via drone or something. Here's the water well. Way big long water line. Here's the tank.
Way down there. It's funny too. If that water line is completely empty, let's say we drained it for some reason, it was whatever, and in the spring, I can turn on the pump, and it takes an hour for water to get down to that last hydrant. It's ridiculous. It takes forever. You wouldn't realize how much water is held in a 1-inch pipe, or 3/4-inch pipe, or whatever.
Well, we watered the high tunnel the other day, and ran it from a hydrant up by the air equip and back to the high tunnels, and then we blew it out. And you just put, the air compressor to it, and it's not that far.
No.
A couple 100 feet. Oh my God, it took forever to
I know,
get all
you
the
were
water.
Did you have air yet? Nope. Still waiting. Still water.
Took forever.
It's amazing how much water is held within a pipe.
You could do the math and figure out how much water, how many gallons.
We actually, when we did our septic system, we did the math on how much water was held in the leach field, or septic
in theory,
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just thousands of gallons in a freaking pipe that's this big around.
Well, the septic one, the leach field.
Well, it's a little bigger, yeah. Sky's King. Anybody else watching BTR live and recording Yellowstone? I'm not recording Yellowstone. We did share a really cool post this week from Calf Vet. And it was on TikTok, wasn't it?
It was on Instagram.
It was on Instagram about people.
Welcome to the party, JB. Nice to see
Hey,
ya.
JB Weld's back. Wow. Hey, there he is.
It's like 2
Not
live
a night
shows
off.
in a row he's been here.
I know, right? Very cool. Thank you very much, sir. You know, it was a rant and rave kind of thing about people buying Yellowstone merchandise.
Yeah, support local, man.
And instead of buying, and it's a pretend ranch, and everybody's running around wearing these shirts for pretend ranches, and it's like, you know, there's real ranches out there that sell T-shirts. Like you could actually be wearing a D. Hansen Ranch T-shirt, or you know, wherever Brian works, you could the Yonker Ranch. I mean, you could be wearing those shirts, and you're wearing, you know, Kevin Costner's pretend ranch shirt. So I always think that's kind of it was a very good.
Yeah, I shared
Instagram
it
from
to
her.
our
Yeah.
stories on Instagram. I'm assuming it went to Facebook too.
Probably.
I don't know.
Probably. I thought that was very interesting. But I've never watched Yellowstone. I don't know what's season 5 or something like that now, I think.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I'll get an email and somebody's like, hey, you're missing out. I'm like, well,
Carrie's been trying to get us to watch it.
she has. But now I got to start all over.
Oh,
Or start at the beginning, actually. I don't have to start all
Oh.
over, so I've started at the beginning. Right?
Awful.
There you go. Brian, do you guys have your own T-shirts? Just wondering, because if you do, I'll wear one, man. I think it'd be cool. I wear Jared's T-shirts all the time, so. And he doesn't even work at a ranch. Well, you could probably call it a funny farm, but definitely something like that. Let's see. Tank heaters, I did see a thing back about solar tank heaters, which are great, except for at night. It gets cold. You got to have heaters or batteries and all that kind of stuff. And 1,500 watts is a lot of power to be pulling. So
Yeah.
having a stock tank heater, it's almost cheaper to keep your water on a trickle, like, you know, like your grandma and grandpa used to do, and they'd be like, leave this kitchen sink on a trickle so that it doesn't freeze at night. I remember doing that.
Yeah, if you live in a trailer house.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
when we lived in a trailer house, that one bathroom would freeze all the time.
Yeah, you had to leave it on
I
a
had to leave
trickle.
the water on.
So it's almost cheaper just to do that and let your pump run.
Well, if you had a solar pump, you could do that
You could leave a solar pump running all the time.
with no float.
No, just let it go. Make a creek. Who cares? Let's see.
You watering
Yeah,
for next year.
right.
Yeah.
Why not?
Helping the soil moisture.
Let's see. Christopher, there are people.
That's a pretty broad statement, Christopher.
It's a very broad statement, but okay, yeah. Feathered Life, Mike, I saw guitars on your office. What do you play? So tomorrow's video that comes out, and it's been a while since we've done like a purely, you know, here's a video just to hang out and BS, right? So I went to my friends last week and I said, hey, let's come up with a video idea, right?
To your friends.
Yeah, you, Matt, whoever else, and I said, you know, so we came up with this idea for lack of better words, like a Mikey Likes It type of video.
No, it's get to know you.
Right, exactly.
Fun facts.
Is Mikey Likes It before your time frame?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
No.
If anybody remembers where Mikey Likes It comes from, be sure to throw it up in the chat so that we can
don't know
educate
what
Erin
that
here in
is.
a couple minutes. Anyway, we're
Why
doing
are you so old?
Why am I so old? Well, first of all, my name was Mike growing up, and I had to hear that all the time. Mikey like it? Does Mikey like it?
I've never heard of Mikey like it.
Really?
What is it?
It'll just wait. Somebody will tell us. Anyway, we do have a video coming up tomorrow. That's there it is.
You like Life cereal? Was it a commercial for Life?
It was a commercial for Life cereal.
And Mikey liked it?
Yeah, I'll show it to you on YouTube someday.
I mean, I know how to run the search.
But anyway, the video tomorrow,
Jared will answer your comment in just a second.
all about getting to know me, right? Little things that you may not know about me, and a lot of people do know, I
Maybe
think.
we should do one for me in January.
We could. Do you want to do one? Get to know Erin? Why not? And yeah, what I like, what I don't like, what I do, what I don't do, and I imagine I'll probably try to squeeze.
Mikey died.
Did he die?
Who
He
was
probably
it?
did. He was old. Actually, he wasn't that old. He was a kid back then. So the basic gist is Mikey. Mikey likes it. If Mikey likes the cereal,
Okay.
yeah. Does Mikey like it? Mikey likes it.
Did he test other cereals or just Life, since it was a Life commercial?
No, it was just a Life commercial. I don't think they tested the other ones, but I liked Life. But I hated having the name Mike when those were coming out because like everybody was, does Mikey like it?
Yeah, I totally don't remember that. Jared had a good.
All right, let's go back up to Jared's super chat here. Do you have free access to the groundwater, or is it metered, measured, limited by the government in any way? No, I mean technically we could pump it out for live. So there's different laws in Wyoming. Wyoming isn't a water rights state. If you're irrigating, you can only irrigate up to an acre without state permits. For livestock, technically you can just pump and pump and pump and pump, and they don't really have any regulations on that.
That's why we have gardens on different sides. Nobody cares, right? Like nobody's checked. There's not like an inspector.
Well, if the governor's watching, we might be in trouble. He's not watching.
Again, I'm not scared.
Just because you have his phone number doesn't mean that you're not scared.
But yeah, I mean, I suppose I've never heard of anybody getting like acreage inspected for specialty crop or anything, or like. But if you have a pivot, that's a whole different thing.
Right, you have to. But here you have to be permitted. If you're irrigating out of groundwater, if you're irrigating out of river, I don't know how that works.
But again, I think if you're going to place a pivot on a river or a pump, there's regulation and stuff. But our groundwater for agriculture, livestock use is not regulated.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, technically, I can pump it out of the well into a pond, out of the pond into a pivot, and nobody would care.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably would, but they're skirting the laws in some weird ways there. But
we do obviously pay electricity
correct.
for that water.
Right.
And regardless of whether or not we turn on that well, because we have some meters that are just water wells and there's nothing else on those, we pay like $40 a month whether they're turned on or not.
Yeah.
Thank you, Precorp.
Exactly. Thank you, Precorp. Carrie said it was fascinating to watch the compost turning of the cow. Crazy how there was hardly anything left. Honestly, so birthday video, and I thought that, first of all, and I don't know if anybody got it, but like it's my birthday, but we're dealing with a dead cow and kind of a, ashes to ashes, dust to dust type of thing. I tried to work that in, but who knows if it got across. But anyway, the fact that there wasn't much there did surprise me when we,
I told Science,
you scienced the crap out of that. Yeah, there was big bones. The big bones were left, but everything small was gone. Like when I picked that thing up and I dumped it back out, and there was nothing there. It was crazy.
Perfect. You made good compost.
Apparently, yeah.
Because remember, you asked me, how do I do this?
Yeah, and you said look it up on YouTube.
And this and this and this. Layers.
Layers.
Like the layers. There was a super chat.
Okie dokie. Oh, There we go. Just Scoot. Hey, by the way, I Just Scoot stopped by the ranch here this last summer and gave us a couple gift cards. I actually used the Baumgar's gift card.
Oh, yeah.
Just last week.
Yeah, because I bought you birthday presents, and then you went and bought yourself more birthday presents.
Okay. Clarify. We needed a heat gun, so I bought a heat gun.
Why do we need a heat gun?
Because you were bottling
But what
your
happened
hot
to the
sauce.
heat gun we had?
It got left outside and got rained on. So
we had a perfectly good heat gun.
We had a perfectly good heat gun.
And so when we don't pick up our tools,
right,
and then it rains.
I agree, 100%. I'll take all the blame.
Consequences.
Yes.
Of your actions.
Exactly. Luckily, I had a gift card that almost covered the price of a heat gun, and I got a free battery.
And you got free battery.
I did. I got a free battery. Okay, Just Scoot, $9.99. Why $9.99? That's so weird. Does anyone raise
That's how I price stuff on the website. It's all $19.99 or whatever.
It's $20.
Or $49.
Yeah. Does anybody raise their hand when Mike asks something? No, just me. I know Erin doesn't. I don't know. That's a little weird, but okay.
We can't track the compost temperature because we can't find the compost thermometer.
It's out there in a snowbag somewhere, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
On the ground.
I actually thought I might get one in the mail when I said that I couldn't find it.
Well, just give it time.
Yeah, true. It's out there somewhere. I think it could have blown away for all I know. But compost usually runs between 150, 160 degrees or so.
No, Science.
Science?
The temperature of a compost pile can vary depending upon what is happening in the compost pile. Depending on if it's actively composting and how old the pile is and how much water and how much air is in the compost pile.
Right.
They're not always 150.
How much cow is in the compost pile?
Depends on how much nitrogen is in the compost and how much H2O is in the compost.
How much wet? How much dry?
Yeah.
Outside temperature?
How much carbon? No, outside temperature shouldn't affect it that much as if once it's active, once the inside's doing its thing. So Carrie and I mulched our garlic the other day, and it was cold, like real cold. It was right before the super cold snap, and we spread some compost on the garlic. We put down straw and then some compost, and it was an older pile that's been going all summer. And we just kind of took a shovel and took some off, but it was warm still.
Really?
Yeah. So it was lightly composting.
I remember back in the day, years ago, didn't we like put a sprinkler or something in the compost? So you have to water it.
Yeah.
If you don't get enough rain.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Like in the summertime, I will water our compost.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, it's all about like what your microbes are doing, what they're consuming, right? Because they're actually like consuming stuff and then outputting. It's an exothermic process. Science.
Lots of science. You know, honestly, I didn't realize how much science
Is
takes
inspiring.
place on a ranch.
Yeah.
We could do a video that we just call Science.
And
just-
it's hard to translate it like 10
Science.
words.
But yeah, I mean, just talk about like how some of this stuff works that you do have to think about. I mean, science and math. It's the amount of
Right.
that
And there's
crap.
there's a lot of bad science in farming and agriculture, a lot of
Right.
like wives' tales and stuff like if you're worried about botulism, just process your tomatoes for an extra 15 minutes. False. Once you reach a temperature that kills botulism, like you don't need to process beyond that. But there's a lot of science, right? And like food
True.
production.
Yeah.
Compost is just a science. You don't need to, it doesn't need to sit out there for a certain amount of time. Technically, like you can get a finer texture off of compost over more time and more turnings, but like age as long as it's reaching temperature thresholds for like 3 days and killing E. coli and salmonella and stuff, that's safe to use. If you document those, like you're fine. If you ever get E. coli on your spinach,
That never happens. It's like once a year for some weird reason.
well, it's usually from groundwater, from irrigation canals. But yeah, it's all, we do a lot of things, or our grandmas told us to do a lot of things in agriculture and in food preservation and food cooking. That has some truth in it, but sometimes we don't understand the science behind it. And so it's either false or not quite.
I think that it's very broad statement to say that, farming or ranching is easy. And not in that you don't have to, this is, you just put some poop and some water and make a pile, and all of a sudden it's a compost pile. I mean, that was one of the things that I saw when, when I made some of the compost videos I have in the past. Well, people will just say, well, we just go pile up manure.
That's just aging.
That's just aging
That's
manure.
not composting.
Right.
They're very different. So aging is not adding any carbon into it, and people will be like, it's too hot. You can't put fresh poop on. It's too hot.
Right.
Yes. I mean,
It's like cooking.
Yeah. So
like
actually,
there's science in everything in cooking.
Yeah,
I mean, there's science everywhere.
But
yeah.
so like beef or any cattle compost is only like 2% nitrogen. Like it's really low. So like chicken's actually the highest at like 3 to 4%. Goat and stuff is like 0.5%. It's really low. But so different animals have different amounts of nitrogen content and stuff, and like just aging it's not necessarily a bad thing. Some composting happens when you pile it up. Like we'll see that. You clean out the barn and it'll be steaming as the snow's falling.
Right.
But if you put some straw in there and put some carbon.
Well, sometimes it's coming out of the barn and there's straw with it.
Well, there's hay or straw, yeah. But if you add some carbon and some dry material and make some compost, it's actually a safer, better product, especially for a garden. Putting it on your fields, not as big of a deal, but.
Yeah. So just like Jay read, so what is done with the cattle compost? Cattle will actually go right back onto the fields. That's where we're talking, dust to dust. That cow is going to go right back onto the hay fields that she's been grazing on for the last, depends on how old she was, 10 years, 12 years, however old she was. She's going to go right back out there on it. And she's been feeding those fields, with poop for years. Now it's just her entire body goes into that. I mean, very much when I dug into that pile and there's a skull, and I really wasn't expecting that. I thought I'd have
A lot more stuff.
A lot more stuff, yeah. And there was a skull. I found a front leg and a pelvis and a couple vertebrae, which are really thick bones. So the bigger bones I was able to find, but I mean, I found one leg. I didn't find another one. I don't know if the other one was sitting in a spot where it composted faster, which could very well happen.
Could have been more nitrogen, could have been more water.
Yeah. And then also the texture, which kind of surprised me. I wasn't planning on that in the video at all, but when I picked that up and it was that soapy kind of mushy.
Yeah, I mean that's literally
bone, it was going away.
That's how soap was discovered, right? An animal dies in the stream, composting happens, it washes it down. Oh, look, bubbles!
Bubbles!
That's essentially how soap was discovered.
Yeah, exactly.
Science. Compost is super fun. It's a fascinating...
Is it really super fun?
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of waiting. Literally, I put that cow in the pile 6 months ago, and then I kind of had to forget about it. I had to forget about it because I would think about it, and I'd be like, oh, I want to go dig in it and see what it looks like. But you can't.
No,
it's like a Christmas present. You get to open early. Or you can't open it early because you're going to ruin it.
But you take a waste material,
right,
and turn it into something that nourishes the next generation.
Right. Does the same thing. If we went out and buried it in the field, would the same thing happen underground?
No, that's a whole different thing.
Whole different thing happens underground. Okay.
But you can, so if you're trying to get a compost pile going, right, you can take and put some soil in it and it'll get it going faster because of the microbes that are in the soil. So soil is a very legitimate compost layer.
Yep. And yeah, we did have a predator that got into the one compost pile, so I didn't see a bone sticking out, and it didn't decompose. So it was sticking out in the air. So how old was Erin when soap was first discovered? Well, it was sometime around Life cereal. I don't know, it was somewhere in there.
That's funny.
All right. So we're talking about the holidays, of course, as we're moving our way through here. And my hat. I forgot I was going to talk about the hat as well. I have made the decision. I made an executive decision. I haven't even told Erin about this. When the cows come home, that's when I'm going to change hats.
It's going to be nice for the next 2 weeks.
I know. I just thought about that.
This is poor thinking.
Well, it was crappy when I thought of the idea. Maybe when the calves come, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Changing the hat is coming, but it is pretty nice now. I made it through the beanie season, so now we're going to move back to the hat season, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, Brian, you get too much nitrogen. You need more carbon. But, if you're trying to get your skulls to disappear, it just depends what your purpose is with your compost.
Interesting. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes to everybody, by the way. I got what, about 700 and some on Facebook, a few hundred more on Instagram, and a bunch on YouTube. It's obviously
still
I
come
can't.
In too.
Yeah, they're still rolling in. I can't obviously answer everybody.
Why not? Get after it.
Take me a day or two, but
not to I was trying to, I had posted the thing to Facebook, and then I was trying to get it to post to Instagram, and it wouldn't post, and so I was trying to do it on my phone. I was trying to copy and paste from one app to the next and stuff, and I kept getting, the notifications were crazy, and I was just trying to swipe. I'm I need in this window. Just slow down for a second.
Well, the day of my birthday, we went out to lunch, and every time I click on my phone, it was another notification, and I couldn't get to where I was trying to go. First world problems,
Yeah, very much first world YouTuber problems. But it was oh my God, can we just thank you guys, but I need in this app.
Exactly.
You're covering up, the notification kept covering up the stuff I needed.
Jeff Lee asked how many round bales have been fed so far. I don't know. I haven't fed many. To the feedlot, those guys are getting feed. I fed. Well, you guys were with me when I fed. I fed with the trailer. So what did I feed? 5 bales, I think, that day, and then I fed 2 bales, one to the steers or one to the calves, and one to the cows a couple days ago. So 7 bales so far, which isn't bad, considering that this time of year, if the cows were home, we'd be feeding every single day, and I've kind of tried to budget 2 bales a day. So definitely saving us money by having them down there. They're not very happy about it though, because I go down and check them a couple times a day, and it's just they're not happy. They don't want to be there.
They're fine.
But they're spoiled cows, so they're gonna stay down there and eat as much as they can, and then be able to bring them home eventually. As long as the weather stays nice, we're okay.
They got a couple more weeks at least.
Yep, exactly.
The feedlot constantly gets.
They get bales all the time.
Yeah. Every what?
About once a week they get a new bale, somewhere in there.
Times 2.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. How do you pick the music for your videos? I don't know. I just find something that works that I like. I mean, more than anything.
Yeah, we pay for music subscriptions.
Yeah.
Like we have to have
copyright and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. So
like-
we have to have rights to use it, or else we get dinged. So
yeah. But we pay for music.
yeah. So I find music here and there. I go through a whole library all the time. Sometimes finding, like, when I edit, a lot of times I'll edit the entire video and then come back and say, hey, I need music here, and then that can sometimes take a little bit of time going through and trying to find something that fits within the emotion or the theme or whatever's happening at that time. So definitely be a trick. Gone Country hats. Yeah, if you're looking for like this hat, you just go to owl-hats.com, and I think this hat will pop right up for you. So.
Yep. You're talking about compost.
Yeah, straw. Could you use leaves, grass clippings, tree trimmings?
Yeah, so it's hard depending on how much volume you need and stuff. Like, it gets difficult. We use hay sometimes, which is not like, it's a low nitrogen source. It's not purely carbon. It's a low nitrogen, but you can use hay. I wouldn't use like alfalfa hay, of course, unless it was like moldy or something. But you basically need to balance your brown and your green, and like poop is green because it's nitrogen, and like straw is brown because it's carbon. Things like wood shavings, but in bulk, right? Like if you're composting a lot, like it is expensive to buy straw.
Actually, saw a dairy farm that they compost everything, right? And they use sawdust for their.
Yeah, especially if you have a mill nearby or something that maybe sells it for cheap and stuff. Like it is hard. It can be hard to find your carbon source. Like leaves are great, but like you can just compost leaves like on their own. And there's really good microbial activity that happens in leaf compost. But yeah, if you're doing hundreds of tons, like our compost piles are big.
Tiny.
Compared. Well, ours are big compared to like a home.
Oh, true.
gardener.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
like small compared to like compost operations and stuff. I mean, there's agriculture businesses that are just composting, right? So like mushroom production takes a lot of compost. So they buy compost from farms, and they'll contract straw and stuff or low nitrogen hay from farmers directly, so they can make compost. So yeah. It can be hard. So.
All right. Was there a lunch meat recall lately?
I
I don't know. Missed that one. Is cardboard packaging material a good source for carbon?
Yeah, but you need to shred it.
Yeah.
You have to increase the surface area, and then again on a large scale, like that becomes problematic.
Right. I
And
mean, we
then
do
you
take
have-
like our shredded stuff and it gets thrown in the compost pile, but
Well,
mostly
our
that's
paper.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a way to get rid of it more than anything. Just like somewhere to go.
Well, yeah.
Low scale recycling. All right. I feel like it would be really easy to hide a body on the ranch. I saw a sign one time that said, "Trespassers beware! I have a compost pile and a backhoe."
There's still DNA.
Yeah, somewhere. It's a lot of compost to test. You mix together a few different people, and then they get really confused.
Yeah, Zach, you're right. When Lonely Farmer sells to a mushroom farm. Yeah. They do, mushroom farms do huge scale composting.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
Science.
All right. So the title of tonight's video is something. I don't remember what I put. Something about holiday schedules or something. So obviously, with the holidays coming up, every
we got
single
like
year
4 minutes left.
I know. That's why I waited till the end. that we definitely have a lot of things coming up for this month, but also we do have some downtime as well with the holidays, and of course December is kind of the same as well. We do have pregnant donkeys, and we got pregnant goats, and we've got all this stuff that's happening.
Never-ending pregnancies.
I know, right? Eventually, it's going to end one way or another, and we plan to still be able to bring you guys as much as we can from the ranch over the next couple months. Of course, we do take a little bit of a break around the holidays also. So coming up next week, our schedule is shifted just a little bit. We've got a video coming out tomorrow on Monday. And then rather than a Thursday video, because Thursday is Thanksgiving, we're going with a Wednesday video, correct?
Yeah.
Right? So that's going to happen. Do we have a Saturday video next week?
You said no.
We do not, because we're going to...
I very specifically remember asking you that.
Well, I'm just putting you on the spot, because if you really wanted me to have one, now would be the time you would say...
Ask that.
But they'll tell me to make one. I mean, they'll be like, yeah, go film instead of eating turkey.
Erin's not pregnant. Erin's too old for that.
So we have that. That's what's happening next week. Christmas is going to be a little bit of a trick, because usually, well... Actually, we have our Patreon-only live stream at the end of this month, correct? So that still happens.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday is our Patreon-only live stream. So if you're a Patreon supporter, be sure to check your email. You'll get a link that takes you to a very special live stream in which Erin cusses a lot more.
I don't cuss.
And then it's got a PG-13 rating on it. And then next month, our last video. Last regular video in December is December 22nd, and then we'll be taking a little bit of a break that'll run through January 9th. But we have our year-end video, which will still be coming out on the 29th, I do believe.
Yeah.
Am I getting these dates right?
I think so.
I think so. So
around that time.
Around that, we'll get this all nailed down for you guys. But we do have a break coming up. But we want to make sure that people are following along on Facebook, on Instagram. We're going to be posting more to YouTube Shorts. While we're not producing content, we can definitely get it out on YouTube Shorts for you guys, and little short form content to be able to show what's happening around the ranch. So we hope that you guys are able to follow along as we move through the holiday season.
Maybe they should turn on notifications. Maybe if we have a donkey giving birth or something
That would be a good thing.
after a successful birth, maybe
We've got
like, here's a donkey.
we've got what, 2 pregnant goats for sure.
Yeah, Yoda looks pregnant.
Maybe Yoda's pregnant, and a pregnant donkey that we're all waiting on.
Oh
So somebody's going to have a successful birth out of all this eventually. So yeah.
I don't think there's going to be New Year's Eve fireworks. It's freaking cold here on New Year's Eve.
I don't know, it might be warm around the fireworks.
We don't
You
stay
stand
up.
really close.
We don't stay up that late either.
Light something on fire, why not?
We'd have to go out at like 4 o'clock.
And do it in the daytime. It's
It's
still
dark at 4 o'clock.
Well, that's true too. It still amazes me how cold it gets once the sun goes down. You don't realize how much heat the sun puts out. Man,
That's like its whole job.
It makes it light too, so that's not its whole job. It's like half of its job. Daylight is good too.
Fireworks are warm in the sky.
Okay.
Not getting close to the fireworks.
So we've got that all coming up, but we really do hope that you guys are able to hang out with us throughout the holidays. And of course, big sale coming up next weekend, starting Friday,
On Black Friday.
the 25th, 6 a.m.
T-shirts and beef sticks and stuff like that, it'll be on sale throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah, until like Monday or something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And then, but we definitely want to make sure that you guys know about that. Don't go ordering anything this week. Give me the week off. But this weekend, hit it hard. And if you are a Patreon supporter, you can get beef and pork too. So 10% off on that for 24 hours starting 6 a.m. on the 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carrie's never been an employee through a sale.
Do you remember when we I don't remember if it was when we first started selling beef jerky, or it might have been our first beef jerky sale. Remember that? It was insane.
No, the worst. It's not. It's I say the worst, but the
busiest.
The worst was.
I shouldn't say this, but it's the worst. Dang you guys.
Was the first 24-hour live stream.
Okay.
And we remember that.
I was kind of
so
awake
we
for
had
half
like
of it.
I think we had like 280 orders that came in from like a Thursday through a Sunday, and so we were packing orders Sunday, and it was just us. There was no Jeff, there was no Carrie. I think it took us like 12 hours to pack orders.
Yeah.
And the printer just kept going off. And it was like, I'm so thankful, but like, shut up. After like hour 4, I was like, this isn't fun anymore. It took so long.
It does.
We were so grateful and so happy to do all that, but it was like, well, like we were not prepared.
So with the beef orders, which are interesting because, you have the packages and you have to remember what's in the packages. And then sometimes Erin changes the packages. So then you got to figure them out halfway through and you're like, okay, if they ordered before this date, the package included ham hocks. But if after this date, we're out of ham hocks.
We've gotten better about that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's tricky. And Carrie can attest, like the new way to order beef is a la carte. Make your own packages. They're so much easier to do.
So those, Brian, you're right. Those early business memories are so much fun. That we've done, have we done 3 24-hour live streams? Or just 2? That first one was the most successful. Like, even with like, oh my gosh, we'll do this again and we'll have so many orders. Like, we still always get a ton of orders during that 24-hour live stream, but never to that volume.
And we didn't have as many subscribers back then.
Right, and it kind of
weird.
happened by accident. Like, we were just like, hey, we'll do a sale and we'll sell a few more things.
It's COVID. That's why it was. Yeah, nobody had anything else to do. So they were like, well, we'll just watch this idiot for a whole day.
And we'll buy some beef sticks from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, obviously, like, when we were first selling beef and beef sticks and stuff, like I think there was a lot of like novelty behind it, and like it was new and like people hadn't tried it yet and stuff, and so like when it was on sale, it was a great opportunity to purchase it. So we did finally get the dreaded email too that processing prices are going up.
Oh yeah. Super awesome. So anyway, we are hoping that you guys are able to take advantage of the sales. If you're looking for holiday or gift-giving ideas from our website, we're not doing the gift boxes this year.
No.
So you can build your own gift box.
We do gift cards. Like you can
order a gift card.
Yeah. You get a code that you can, right? Mm-hmm. Is that how it works? They get a code?
Yeah,
you don't get an actual gift card. But you can gift a gift card to somebody, and you can ship beef and pork to someone else.
Yeah. And if somebody does order a gift card for somebody for beef and pork, if you shoot us an email, we talked about this, if you shoot us an email, we'll get them access to the beef and pork side of things. So if they want to go pick out their own stuff, that's totally fine too. So
we'll make a Patreon post about that.
Thomas said, by the way, my wife loves the ink pen that was in the box. That was us playing with fire there because we're shipping a frozen box with a pen in it. I was deathly afraid those pens were going to explode and people were going to get meat covered in ink.
And they seem to do okay.
Did just fine,
it would be
thankfully.
Frozen.
What?
It's not going to explode. It's frozen.
Okay, true. As soon as you take it out of the box and it thaws, then it explodes. That would be bad too.
Brian, we totally have been expecting a processing increase. Like every time I get the receipt back, I'm like, did it go up?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is going up. So
everything's
going up. What it is. So we've already unfortunately had to raise prices because grain cost a lot more than it used to a year ago, and that just seems to keep going up. But I mean, we are saving some money doing the mixing, but yeah, it is.
Well, everybody loves the pen. It's a very nice ink pen. They are. I have
we should have a spreadsheet of who's gotten a pen.
I don't have one yet. Everybody gets in. Yeah, they keep on ordering. They keep on getting more pens.
No more pens for you, Melissa.
You only get so many. We do try to sneak something in extra with each beef order as well. Some people get pens, magnets.
Sometimes we don't have anything.
Sometimes we don't have anything.
Yeah.
And Erin just puts a check in.
I don't know. I say thank you for your order. Processing's going up.
Yeah, exactly. Here's one of my dirty socks. Can you wash this and send it back? Maybe that would work. A little bit of laundry.
Yeah, grain has doubled. It hasn't quite doubled.
No, not here.
We were paying like $3.50 a ton last year for COB. We're paying upwards of like $5.50 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not quite double.
So we may start mixing our own COB and try to save money that way. Who knows? But possibly.
It's not that much.
It's not. And they take care of us.
the whole molasses thing.
You can do dry molasses. I looked into this, like powdered molasses. Yeah, possibly.
But it didn't. What's his name? Say it tastes bitter. What's his name?
Shane.
Shane.
Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, you got anything to add before we wrap things up?
No.
No. Nothing.
No.
Nothing. Does anybody want to see a get to know Erin better video?
Not until January.
in January. Would anybody like to see a Get to Know Erin Better video? I'm sure people are going to say yes.
They don't care.
Well, anyway, thank you very much, guys, for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. I do appreciate all the happy birthday wishes. I am now officially 40-something years old. You never keep track of that. I don't know
You're
why.
47.
7. There you go. All right. Way older than a lot of different people, but that's okay. See, yes, people love this stuff. So we do thank you guys for all of our...
Matt's just like, sure, fine.
Matt's like, I know her well enough.
Jeez, Matt, you could like have some enthusiasm. Sure.
Sure, whatever. Have her make a carrot cake.
I already did that.
There's already a video where you make a carrot cake, right? Yeah. You can go steal the recipe anytime you want. Make it for Thanksgiving. It can be awesome.
Putting the ranch and hardly know Erin. Oh,
You escaped. Good for you.
I'm busy. I got like a real job and stuff.
Don't we all? All right, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. I really do appreciate it. We will see you tomorrow. Brand new video coming out. Get to know me a little bit better and some of my hobbies and likes and dislikes and all that kind of good stuff. And Erin's not going to sing. Ever. That would be the first thing. And then get to know Erin.
I've never made soap.
If you ever see soap on the ranch, somebody call my cell phone and make sure that I answer, okay? Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Am I just going to render you when you're dead?
Why not? Make me
We
useful.
should render a cow.
How do you render a
I don't
cow?
know. I'm sure there's a YouTube video.
There's a YouTube video for that. All right, guys.